What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Philip and welcome back to another video. So this is going to be kind of a part 2 on my reaction to Kamen Rider Geats, now with added info and updates. Now, if you want to read more about Kamen Rider Geats and see more photos, I recommend that you click the links down in the description. So let's begin. Now, first off, we already have some updates on the Desire Driver, which is going to be the main belt of actually all the Kamen Riders in the show, not only Geats, because again, this is going to be more or less like our Reiwa version of Kamen Rider Ryuki, so it makes a lot of sense that all of the riders in the show have, the same type of driver. However, the difference would be, in the modules that they're going to use, or, the attachments that you put onto the belt. So, of course, as for our main character, we see his default form, the Magnum Boost. So, we also see other, not necessarily upgrades, but other attachments like a hammer and water pistol. Yeah, there's also a water gun attachment for some reason, but these I would say like are not forms per se, but rather equipment. Yeah, they do change the aesthetics of the suit a little bit. Now, I do think that some people are already complaining that the the suits look lazy in those forms. Let's say like the hammer module, or the hammer attachment, and it only changes the chest armor, which by the way is kind of reminiscent of Kamen Rider Vice's chest armor. It is quite simplistic, but no, I think it really looks quite similar in its form, but nonetheless, that's all you see, and you still get the black suit that looks like nothing. But I don't think it's more of function over form, substance over style. Is what I'm saying. It's not really how the Kamen Riders look, but rather how they perform, how they fight, how they engage with each other in the upcoming Desire Grand Prix, which is, by the way, the name of the tournament or the competition that I guess is again the counterpart, the Reiwa counterpart to the battle, or the Rider Battle Royale that we had way back in Kamen Rider Ryuki, because I keep mentioning Kamen Rider Ryuki because there are just so many similarities in the concept alone, because the grand winner of this Desire Grand Prix, as the name implies, gets their desires fulfilled, and basically you get to reshape the whole world the way you want it. So again, you do get like a godlike ability, but I don't know if this is just a one-time thing, but nonetheless, you fight other Kamen Riders to get what you want, right? So I guess that's the plot. But anyways, going back to uh, Geats and his other forms. So we again see the hammer, the water gun, and we can actually see so the Magnum and the Boost forms that you know are also interchangeable, and you can use one at a time. So as we can see, each like attachment that actually gives the riders their forms, so they get some kind of equipment. So with the Magnum form on the upside, uh, you get a pistol, which actually has a rifle mode, which I actually mentioned in the previous video. By the way, I'm going to link it down in the description as well. I forgot to say that, sorry. So you get a pistol that transforms into a rifle mode, which is reminiscent also of Kamen Rider Snipe from Kamen Rider Exade. So again, we do also have that shooting game aspect going on, because again, this is also kind of based on games like Fortnite and Apex Legends, and Toei actually mentions these specific games in their post, you know. So yeah, it is official that these games are actually inspirations for Kamen Rider Geats, and I'm not sure if it's going to actually use concepts from Fortnite. Basically, you know, the ability to build stuff to protect you from enemy attacks, or use traps as attacks and things like that. But I think it's gonna be more like Apex, which is more combat oriented, in my opinion. I've never played the game, by the way, so it's just how I think it's gonna be. So yeah, again, it is official. Toei took those games as inspiration, and most of these concepts. But uh, let me talk about the other Kamen Riders next. Okay, so we do have like an animal form concept once again. So I'm going to mention Kamen Rider Ryuki one more time, because all of the Kamen Riders, right, in Ryuki, well, I think with the exception of Ryuki and Odin, because they are mythical creatures. So the rest of the Kamen Riders in Kamen Rider Ryuki are based off, regular animals like Kamen Rider Knight, who's a bat, Kamen Rider Zolda, who's a bull or bison or whatever similar bovine creature you have, and so on. Now, I really couldn't see the silhouettes of the other Kamen Riders clearly in the teaser video, but there are definitely two that are easy to identify, which one is another buffalo or bison inspired Kamen Rider, and actually in the updated promotional poster we see him carry like a huge club. And now this is the most interesting part, in my opinion. For the first time in Kamen Rider history, we are going to get a panda themed, I repeat, panda themed Kamen Rider. You know, and what's also hilarious about it is that the helmet of this Kamen Rider is comically huge. Like, it's more of a mascot than a Kamen Rider. Like, that is original design. I tell you, that's a very original concept by Toei and Bandai. But you know what? This is somewhat of a crazy idea that I'm having right now in regards to this Panda Kamen Rider. So, you know, what if, and I think this is going to be the more interesting route, really, and that this could actually get me hooked if this were the case. So, what if we have this comically, comedic looking panda themed Kamen Rider, and what if it turns out that this panda Kamen Rider is actually one of the bad guys? Like Kamen Rider Oja levels of evil. Like, that would be the sickest twist in Kamen Rider history. Like, yeah, sure, pandas have like a rare case of attacking humans, sure, but like you mostly see videos of pandas doing cute and sometimes even stupid stuff on camera, right? So, taking a creature that you wouldn't normally associate with evil and have the user, whoever it may be actually the sickest, in the head person that joins the Desire Grand Prix. That would be mind blowing, you know. Uh, I'm I'm hoping that this is actually the case, because again, that's gonna be the more interesting direction that this character is going to take, if ever, if you know, this were to be true. And I'm hoping that this is gonna be true, because that's gonna be really really exciting. So as for Kamen Rider Geats' Rider Machine, we also see it in the teaser. So it seems to be accessible when he uses the boost form on the upper half of his body. And just a reminder, yes, because of the design of the desired driver, so he can actually invert the Magnum boost into the boost Magnum form, and it will obviously give him different abilities. And probably when the boost form is up, so this is when he's able to summon his rider machine, which, you know, compared to uh previous Kamen Riders, so I guess up until Kamen Rider uh Revise, I guess, which is still airing, by the way. So it's actually a lot more normal looking than Kamen Rider machines of or rider machines of late. So I'm not sure if this is going to be quite affected by Japan's laws on customized vehicles, and how, for safety reasons. So uh, there's this law that limits the use of customized vehicles. That's why even if we see early on the use of rider machines, they don't last very long in appearances. So yeah, blame the Japanese government for that kind of shtick. So disappointing. But yeah, anyways, so like I've said, the rider machine looks actually more uh, normal than you would expect, which is surprisingly refreshing in my opinion, because you know recent Kamen Rider shows are trying to go over the top with their rider machines, especially with Revice recently. Like, you have like an actual hovering bike as basis for uh, Revice rider machine, which is actually just another form for Kamen Rider Vice, which never appeared, I think, beyond episode 13, when they attacked the dead man's base, and you know Revi was able to use all his forms and summon them, I think, thanks to the power of stuff, plot, and I actually forgot what happened in that episode, but yeah. It's been a few months already. Please cut me some slack. So, anyways, so the rider machine is normal, so it's fine. And I really am looking forward to how the other common riders are introduced. So, you know, I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record at this point. I apologize, but this just really has to be said. In Kamen Rider Ryuki, the riders do form like alliances, even if they're temporary. Just to accomplish a specific goal, or in order to defeat a rider who seems to be like a threat. So I'm pretty sure that all the riders in Kamen Rider Geats are going to have their own agenda, and definitely I do see episodes where especially like the more villainous ones, if ever, are gonna plot against, well, of course, our protagonist and whoever his allies may be. And then like switching it up once in a while with alliances. So like, even if, let's say, Kamen Rider Geats does not agree with this specific rider, for example, but they do have a common goal that would require some form of teamwork. Again, even if you don't like the rider that you're gonna work with, but you know that he or she could be able to help you out, or maybe this rider is the only option for you to work with. So those kinds of developments are going to be interesting as well, because you do see you know characters, you do see their characterization, because you know their personalities come out. Even if you're talking to someone and they put on a front, and then once everything is over they're gonna stab you in the back or something like that, or some guy that you really really hate in the beginning turns out to be one of the nicest ones in the end. Like those kinds of character developments and reveals, or twists if you want to call them, are highly possible in this kind of scenario. So I'm really interested, and I'm really hoping to see those kinds of things implemented in the show as well, because really, uh, if you're going to do something again like Kamen Rider Yuki, uh, by the way, you can turn this into drinking game and see how many times I mentioned it. So yeah, but again, that I really think that needs to be said. So yeah, September 4th. So that's when Kamen Rider Geats is going to air. So that's all for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and let me know down in the comments what you think. What do you think of the Panda Kamen Rider? Is this rider going to be a villain or an ally? Who knows? But tell me your own ideas in the comments. What kind of personality would you like this Panda Rider to have? So tell me. And again, all the related links are going to be down in the description below, so you guys can check it out in case you haven't yet. So this has been Philip again. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to leave a like, comment, share this video, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.